fashion in the movie is really wonderful.
Well, I'm gonna merchandise it up, style it up with some shoes.
There's thrift store, old vintage, important archive pieces to literally right off the runway.
How are we gonna add more clothes? But we did. We found a way. There was such a fun mix of jewelry, coats, hats, gloves, everything.
It's just like going to a fabulous trunk show. The purses and the shoes and the jewelry and wearing the costumes. I sometimes think about that scene I'm going to do, and I'm so excited because I get to revisit those fabulous jeans, just like old times.
We all love Pat Field. Her contribution is really, you can't even measure it.
Patricia Field has been an icon in New York for many years, I think since the 60s. And everyone knows her in the business.
Pat Field is an artist. She has a unique vision. She's impulsive and collaborative and almost like a jazz musician. I mean, I've had amazing experiences where I felt like, oh, let her lead the way, because she has a crazy idea.
She has a sensibility that nobody else has, and you can argue with it, and you cannot always agree with her aesthetic, but it is unique and her own, and it suits these women.
She was always about, like, what is different, what is new, what is fresh, what are they wearing in Chinatown?
Patricia was here since the beginning, and having her join us was really, I think, crucial to making the movie feel as familiar as it did watching the series.
Don't they look good?
Pat Fields is indispensable. We could not tell the story without her, period.
When Sex and the City, the movie, became a reality, it was great all getting back together again. The movie was kind of the dessert of the TV show. We just had a little time in between to digest and get ready for a really big dessert. Welcome to the wardrobe of Sex and the City. I'm gonna take you around and show you how this whole magic happens. There is so much wardrobe in Sex and the City that I think the main challenge here is just keeping it all straight. It comes from Paris, it comes from Italy, it comes from New York, it comes from everywhere. This is where we store our wardrobe. Each of the 4 girls have their own section, like their closet, and then the rest of the room is taken up by our other cast. So you could see this is quite an operation.
She pulls from every aspect of high fashion, low fashion, impulse, the world.
It's all part of her lexicon because it's who she really is. She doesn't have to struggle to find that.
We just sent a production assistant to Mexico, to the jungle, to pick up a dress because we can't duplicate it.
She can take very, very high-end stuff and put it on with something that costs $2 so that she messes it up. You don't end up looking like the clothes are wearing you. You don't look like a mannequin in a window.
I remember pulling this dress myself. It was some little cheapy dress, but it looked great. You can't get caught up by, is it expensive? Is it a designer? It's our eye that chooses. And really, it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Pat definitely came with ideas in terms of updating us and what that would mean and how it would manifest. It's subtle. It's still our DNA of our character, but it's updated.
There is connective tissue. You can go from the last season to this movie and not think, well, that's ludicrous. You know, that's not the character anymore. It definitely is, but it's the person that's older and different, whose tastes have changed, whose palate has changed, and that's what happens when you grow up.
I had to come up with some kind of plan of action. You just can't go out and pull clothes out of the air without any, you know, philosophy behind it. Since the end of the TV show to the movie, it's in those years that I built the movie on. I was just filling in the pieces. There had to be a logic behind the way they looked. Our audience knows these women. You have to give them something that makes sense.
Should we get you a diamond?
No, no. Just give me a really big closet.
Carrie Bradshaw. She is an eclectic, original New York kind of girl. In the movie, I saw Carrie a little more sexy, a little more calm with herself as a woman.
She's much more of an adult in more traditional ways than she had been during the course of the show.
What's the label?
No one. I found it at a vintage shop.
A dress by no one.
We are in Carrie's closet at the moment. Of course, everybody remembers the flower from the TV show. We used it in the opening scene when we first see her. This was a vintage gown, and I shortened it into a mini dress. I think everyone will recognize the iconic vintage fur coat, which was from the series. She still has that coat, and I did put it in one scene. I felt that that would give more texture and meaning to the movie.
There's no place like home. Samantha's fashion is all about being flamboyant. Sometimes it's a little trashy and fun. Doesn't take herself too seriously, and she's not interested in the status quo.
This is Samantha's Los Angeles wardrobe. And you know, it's the Samantha colors, primary and bright.
Yellow, you know, I sort of see her as a lioness. Reds are great for Samantha. Everything that has vibrancy and life.
This is a little work outfit to go to the office in. In the movie, she's bolder, but she's still Samantha.
Charlotte has pudding in her Prada.
We are now in Charlotte's closet. See, we're visiting everybody's closets, of course. With Kristin, it was trying to push it just a little beyond the preppy and see how far I could get.
Girls.
How does little preppy Charlotte evolve? Maybe as she got a little older, she got a little more sophisticated. Maybe she got a little more like Jackie O. That fits the bill for me.
I'm going for a run and then to the gym for Pilates. Anybody wanna?
Even though she still has her worries, Charlotte is more settled now and more grounded.
This was a really pretty little Oscar de la Renta that she wore. Oscar made it custom for her.
All the parents in Brady's school dress up. It's fun. Fun thought up by a group of non-working mothers with nothing else to do all day.
Miranda has a few different selves. Certainly there's her work self, which is very tailored. At the same time, Miranda's gonna try to keep up with her girlfriend's looks. She's gonna try and prove to them that she's not a boring lawyer lady.
Miranda is just a little more chic, less chaotic than the original Miranda. I didn't want to box myself into the lawyer uniform. And so this is what maybe the new Miranda might wear to work. This color, great on her red hair. Still the same person, but just put together a little bit more cleanly and more sophisticated. And it worked gorgeous. This is one of my favorite dresses. It's a vintage. Oh my God. Carrie and her 3 friends were all kind of done up for the auction. Really, we pushed it. But we pushed it just for the fun and the entertainment of it all. It was like, we're gonna do patterns, but big patterns.
60 to our colorful bidder?
Even the auctioneer has this overdone brocaded jacket piece on. I love the scenes when I have the 4 of them walking down the street or whatever they're doing. It's kind of my fashion editorial. The audience loves them. I think it's enjoyed by all.
It's always a challenge to come up with that many looks. I mean, you just wouldn't believe how much time is spent in fittings.
Sarah Jessica, we had 3 days of initial fittings. It takes a while. When we do a fitting, there are racks of clothes here to do the fitting from. The actress comes in, we go through scene by scene together, and then we shop in our wardrobe room. We finally decide, okay, we like this dress or we like this outfit. Okay, now what? A bag, a hat, a glove, a belt. It's totally collaborative.
There are at least 16, 20 racks of things, and it's just a free-for-all of trying things on. We all work together. There's such excitement in the room. We order food, we go through pizza. They're like 8-hour sessions.
And I was like, oh, you know, whatever, I'm not that into the clothes, I thought to myself. And then I went and I was like, oh, Oh, I forgot. There were just tables of bags, like every new bag that you haven't even seen in the store yet, and there were just tables of shoes, and I mean, it was just like Mecca. It was crazy.
The men are all quite different as well, just the way the women are. Some have a fashion edge, some look like a regular guy. Miranda's husband, Steve, jeans and shirts. But Mr. Big, he's that iconic male. Women love, love, love him. I have a great relationship with Chris, and I love dressing him because, you know, he is that iconic male, and I saw that in him, and I was able to completely focus it.
When I get married, I'm wearing something like that, only bigger.
Stanford, as a character, was very much created by Pat Field. It's the only character where she had carte blanche. She just went hog wild. I don't think I'm wearing one piece of clothing in the movie that cost less than $10,000. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it should be.
Sometimes I would have a reaction like, oh, but is this realistic? And I'm going, listen, if you want to do a documentary, do not call me. I do entertainment. I don't want to send it into the outer atmosphere, but I do want to lift it a little bit off the ground so that it's entertainment.
I put a bird on my head.
Is that what that was?
Pat's idea, the breaking of all the rules, it's infectious. You know, I would try anything for Pat.
You know, I'm often asked who my favorite character to dress is. It's kind of like they're all your children. Do you have a favorite? You love them all. You love the experience, and they're different experiences. I think what's fun, it's the success of the character. I would estimate that there were well over 300 changes for these 4 women. That does not account for anybody else.
What people forget about Pat Field is that she dresses me and, you know, Sarah's amazing gowns or whatever. She also dresses every cop, every lawyer. Take the fashions of the series, multiply it by 50.
Sometimes it can mean, let's get 2 versions so that on the day that we're shooting, if the weather's a certain way or the lighting's gonna be a certain way, which colors will pop.
It was monumental, but if you've got the team, it's achievable. In the movie, I've used a few elements that I am personally enjoying. I was thinking, let's try some smaller bags. Let's give people something new to look at. Let's make a small bag statement. So we rounded up all the small bags wherever we could find them. Graphic bags, metallic bags, as well as shoes.
What would happen if these were to magically disappear?
Yeah, I know where you live.
The TV series was very Manolo, and the Manolo shoe is a gorgeous shoe. It's a delicate and fine shoe. It's a light shoe. We used in the movie some heavier shoes, a little stronger shoes. I thought it would be a nice switch, particularly for Carrie. And I was very happy when we started doing the fittings that the shoes that I presented to her, which was, you know, off on another tangent, she understood and she went for. And belts. Belts were very, very important. The belt gives the shape. I think it's the new silhouette of Sex and the City, the belted waist. When we need jewelry, come shopping here, and on the other side, there are jewelry tables. It's all about those details that tell the story of how you dress.
The fashion industry really stepped up. All the designers, all the fashion houses chipped in to help us tell the story honestly of what we wanted to do, what Pat's vision was.
It was fun for them, too, to see their clothes in the movie on Sarah Jessica, who is a supermodel. I mean, if you put a plastic bag on her, she'll make it look good because she's just so graceful.
She had such an impact on fashion in general. Women wanted to wear these high heels and bright colors.
Sex and the City was almost an education on how to dress. You suddenly thought, oh, I can mix all those patterns and brights and things together and have fun with it.
The audience was identifying with the details of the show. It freed women to dress in a more powerful and more personal way. It brought out the individuality of women and therefore the confidence of women.
Humanized a lot of fashion and made it understandable and more accessible to the average person.
My very own Louis Vuitton!
That's right.
Sex and the City turns a fashion brand into a household name. Suddenly, millions of women know who Jimmy Choo was.
There was Christian Dior, there was Manolo Blahnik.
Sex and the City gave women permission to acknowledge their obsession with shoes.
Now I believe this is all really happening.
Shoes are mood altering for women. It's like taking a jewel out of the little box. You feel sexier, you feel taller. Doesn't matter if you're having a fat day, a thin day, your shoe size remains the same.
To me, a good shoe is a shoe that you first look at the woman and then you consider looking at the rest, like her shoes, etc. But you should still look first at the woman. It's also very much of an attitude that you have in yourself. It's an extension of their own femininity, it's an extension of their own character. My biggest thrill is when I just notice a woman and then suddenly I look at the shoes and it's mine.
There it is. My baby.
Ah, she's a beauty.
Let's not forget the jewelers. We have amazing partners in the jewelry world as well.
Show rehearsal.
We're featuring Fred Leighton's jewelry for this scene.
All these pieces here are part of our collection that we sell, and the majority are estate and antique pieces.
They walk this way, but then we should probably favor the camera.
Action. When we were called, we were very excited because it allows us to really show a beautiful jewelry collection. So exciting that we're part of this.
Cut it. Back to one.
As true as we want to be to a style or to trends, you always try to make it timeless.
I derive a lot of my inspiration when it comes to that from old Hollywood. It's not about next year's fashion or next season. It's about this movie looking good 20 years from now. I'm not a student of fashion. Whatever looks great to me, then I go for it and hope somebody else will like it too. Good job. These girls are part of everybody's living room. The audience knows more detail than I could possibly remember. They take it with them in their lives, and that's a thrill for me.